Kickboxing. Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Johnny Davis Live. We have an exciting show for you today. We're going to be discussing a little bit about an upcoming event tomorrow in Charlotte, North Carolina, with Mr. Benny Gray. Should be a lot of fun there. The Ophelia, I think, is Rec Center or something like that. Should be a really nice event. He should be on a little bit later. Hopefully, Mr. Rafael Mendoza will be on as well to chat with him a little bit about the PBSC, which is actually what's going on tonight, really, with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. But that's another story. It's just not called that. So obviously, the IKF Winter Classic is coming up. Different kind of event. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And the Mike Tyson fight. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight is coming up tonight. It's going to be a very interesting event for a lot of people, in particular me. So I have a lot of thoughts on it, a lot of comments that I want to make about it. Guys, get ready. I'm going to dive in here a little bit. I've been talking about it for the last few weeks. I've been putting information, some of my training videos and stuff out. Look, I was excited about this fight, to be honest with you, in July, right? And so I kind of lost interest in it. But then, when it got reignited again and darn it, they got me again. So now I'm really interested in this fight and going to definitely be watching tonight. But I want to give you a little bit more of my insight on that and exactly, what I feel about it, some of my thoughts, even my prediction, if you will, on what I think might happen. Of course, it is fighting. We have no idea what's going to happen, but I'll come back to that in just a little bit, okay? So let's move on really quick, a little bit about what's going on for the IKF. We call it the Winter Classic. Now, basically, we call it the Winter Classic because we're kind of stuck in the idea of Spring Classic, Winter Classic, Fall Classic, right? To be very honest, what that event is ultimately going to be is like a big fight night. I say a big fight night, a great fight night for those who like fights. We are planning Muay Thai, kickboxing, different styles of kickboxing. We're going to have international rules. We're even going to have freestyle kickboxing on this event as well. If you have not seen that, in fact, I think there was a match just confirmed today that, whoa, it's going to be a barn burner, and I can't wait to announce that. So that's going to be great. We have some really good fights already lined up for the super fights, people who are registered. Here's the way it's working, guys. So we don't have a ton of people registered for the event. That's okay, right? What we want to do with those people that we do have, we would love to try to get them a match, right? And then we're going to put them all on this one big fight card for the evening on December 7th at Harrah's Cherokee Casino in Cherokee, North Carolina. So it's not like the Spring Classic or the Fall Classic where we have hundreds of fighters. That wasn't the idea. And that is exactly why we're saying fight night, right? Because we knew that this was going to be a little bit different and we're not going to have as many competitors, and that is okay. But we're going to have some great fights. So I want you to get registered. Go and check out the people that are registered now, IKFFightPlatform.com, or you can register today. Registration is still ticking up. It's going to keep going up each week as we go. We're going to let it ride almost right up until the event, so you'll be able to register. But don't wait, because whoever's there might decide, if it's a week of, maybe I'm not going to do it. Some of them are going to stay all the way to the end. So my thoughts for you are, go ahead and get registered. Let's make this a great fight night for the fans that's going to come out and everything. We're going to put a lot more emphasis on the marketing and everything here in the coming weeks right before Thanksgiving. And I think it's going to be a great event for fight fans. As you know, that we also have the PBSC and the Point Muay Thai and Kickboxing Sparring that's also going to be a part of that event. That is semi-contact, no knockouts allowed there, but the registration is going on for that as well. We're calling it the Grand Slam. Boom! Knock out the park, because that is our last event here in the Southeast for the year, and it's been a great year, by the way. So go ahead and get ready for that. Bring your fighters out, semi-contact fighters. Well, we're going to have PBSC, and we're going to have the full contact fights going on. It's going to be a great day of fighting. December 7th at Harrah's Cherokee Casino. We really do hope that all of you guys will join us and come out for the fun. By the way, for those events, and we're going to be talking about that just a moment more with Mr. Benny Gray. I mean, we're giving out, as I said, a ton of belts, ton of PKB belts. Even tomorrow in Charlotte, we're going to be giving out a ton of PKB belts, not a ton, several PKB belts and PBSC belts. It's going to be a great tournament. Registration is actually going pretty well so far, but we're expecting obviously a lot more to show up at the door. So a great reason for you to join us this weekend as well as December 7th in Harris, Cherokee. Now listen, we are matching, as you see on the bottom there. We have super fights that Mr. Anthony Bowie is working with folk on. These are fights that we match. In other words, we match these fights for somebody to come and beat you. All right, that's the idea. We give out great championship belts. They're certified titles, and he's doing a great job in matching up those fights. And so get ready for that. If you have some fighters that are ready, been training, and be ready by December 7th, contact Mr. Anthony Bowie. Right, the information is on the screen there, and be a part of this great event that we have aligned for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be something that I think fight fans are going to enjoy. They loved the last one. Harris Casino loved the last one. I think you guys are going to love this one. And also, without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk to our guest here today. We're going to chat with him a little bit. He has been waiting there in the lobby. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the one and only Mr. Benny Gray. There he is. How you doing, Benny? All right, man. How's it going?
Unmute my. Okay, can you hear me?
There you go. Yeah. No, you're good. Everybody kind of always starts out a little bit like that, like how do I operate this thing? Hey, man, thanks so much for being on today. I really appreciate it. We have several things that we want to talk about. And not only your event that you have coming up on tomorrow in Charlotte, but of course, we got to talk a little bit about Mike Tyson while I got you on, right? Got to talk about that. That in itself is a pretty big deal, in the fight community. But Benny, please tell me. And I call you Benny. I know it's your cool Benny. Now we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But I knew you as Benny. Been knowing you for quite a few years. But talk to me a little bit about where did the crew come from? Where I know you've been working really hard for years on that. Give me a little bit more information on that.
Well, with you, it's always Benny, so it doesn't have to be crew. That's just something added to my name. I mean, you know how we go. We've been going back ever since I started. When I started Muay Thai, kickboxing, or just boxing all together. And then I got to remember my first tournament with you and this band.
Was your first tournament with us?
My first tournament. My wife my wife competed first. We drove down to Florence.
Okay.
I saw the IKF. I was like, man, I got to be a part of this some kind of way. Not only just competing, I want to be a part of it. Right. And then I competed, and then I've been going on with my Muay Thai journey and also jiu-jitsu. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Right. And now, thankfully, I am. Shout out to Master King and Dr. King, Ajar and Kings. I am a crew.
Right. Well, I mean, it takes a lot of work. I think that's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations on that. Because again, I know you've been working really hard, and you actually have some skills too, by the way. You got some skills. I do remember you competing and everything, and I do know. I also remember you saying, "Man, I'm tired," because it's not. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts about the PKB while I have you on, and how important you think that might be for competitors.
Regardless the skill of a fighter, it challenges you. So. Even if you've had full contact, I mean, it's something. I wouldn't treat it anything less than any type of tournament, because it tests your heart. Like you said, with me, regardless of however I train, I would gas some kind of way. I would always win the first round, the second round, hands on my knees. So I mean, no, the preparation, mental and physical, I wouldn't undermine it. It's not only just a great starting point; it's a good point at any time to compete and be a part of.
Right, for sure. I certainly obviously agree with that 110%. I think it's good for people at different levels as long as we're matching them accordingly to their levels and all. You had your first event. You did an event some years ago. It was at another person's gym, but you did an event a few months ago and everything. Seemed like it was a tremendous success, over 100 and some competitors. Tell me, what did you learn most about when you did that tournament? What was probably the biggest lesson, your biggest takeaway?
Make sure we got air.
Yeah, it was a little hot in there, right?
Make sure we have air. No, organization. We have to be as organized as possible. And I've thrown events. So, I mean, I partner with Live Nation, AEG, and so forth. Right. And you're never going to perfect an event, but you can always find something to make it better. And with that one, I would just say being prepared, being organized. Tomorrow is going to be day and night. First one was terrific, but tomorrow is
Yeah.
going to be day and night from what my first one was, because of so much I learned from the first one.
Right, right, right. And it's all about a learning experience. You talked about your promotions and everything with some of the other things you've done, even with Live Nation. Give us a little insight into that world just for a moment. Some of the kind of events that you were doing. As
So
he,
with
yeah.
anything. So for instance, on the caliber of like Usher just came to Charlotte, and I was one of the ones that I'm still affiliated with Live Nation
Wow.
AG. I'm one of the ones that's affiliated with the marketing for that. You have, if you name it, we've done it. Now, I've privately sponsored events where I've brought them to big events like All-Star Weekend, CIAA, or just a regular weekend. I've brought the likes of Lil Wayne. I've promoted a fight outside of IKF. So
Wow.
things of that nature. With
Right.
AEG Live Nation, with CRVA, where we are over the arenas here. So what
Wow.
is Spectrum Center? So pretty much anything that goes to Spectrum Center,
Wow.
Bojangles Coliseum, Ovens Auditorium, anything ranging from like Paw Patrol coming to a UFC fight to a concert. So I've been a part of it.
And you've been, and not only that, like I said, Live Nation, are they based in Charlotte?
No, they're not based in Charlotte. There is a division that's in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay, I thought I saw an office or something in Charlotte at
They
one
have
time.
we do have
Uh,
offices here.
okay, for sure, for sure. I mean, they're huge. I mean, they are the coup de grace, if you will, of entertainment, and I think they do, like you said, put on fights and stuff like that as well. Tell us a little bit why they should come out tomorrow to the PKB in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's going to be a 10x of what many have experienced at PKB. It's going to be that fine line between, if you were to go to, I remember that tournament that I went to, the competition, like your East Coast Classic. I went to one of those before, and things of that nature. It's going to be in between like a regular PKB and that, as far as what we have for the folks. Like, we really have some good stuff in the concessions, some good activities, things that are going on outside of the fights. And the fights are going to be exciting. We have some great fighters and that's jumping in that I think have a great potential, and other things that's going on. So it's just going to be an exciting day. It's not going to be a downtime.
Right, right, right. You're gonna have a food truck there this time, or you got food, or selling at a concession. How is that working?
Yes, we will have food. We have a tremendous amount of different varieties of food that's going to be set up, because this time, like I said, instead of us doing it within the venue, we have other vendors that's going to come. Popcorn, cotton candy. There may be face painting going on. I don't want to tell too much. You have to come check it out.
Oh, we got a party tomorrow. Well, we're looking forward, to actually being there, along with Mr. Anthony Bowie. Will be there as well, and some of the other officials and everything. This is IKF Point Muay Thai Kickboxing and PBSE Point Boxing Sparring, which is something that's really taken off across the country. It's going to be going on tomorrow. What is the name of that facility? Because it's small on my screen. I can't really see it. What is the name of the facility and the times that things will get started?
It is the Ophelia Garman Brown Center. The weigh-ins will be at 9. But to speak a little bit about Ophelia Garman Brown, she was a tremendous community leader here in not just Charlotte, but throughout North Carolina and South Carolina. Unfortunately, she passed away 3 years ago.
Yes.
A great friend of our family and loved by many in the Charlotte area. She was one of the VPs over our main hospital here, Novant Health.
Wow.
So this not only will this be a tremendous event, this will be a tremendous tribute for her and her legacy.
Wow. Well, we're so thankful to be there. I think it's going to be a great venue for what we're doing, and honored to be a part of that. And okay, so we're going to transition here just for a moment, and let's talk about what's really going on tonight. I'll be very honest with you, man. This kind of feels a little bit like a holiday to me. It feels a little bit like a holiday. And everybody's asking the same question. And that question is simple: can Mike Tyson defeat Jake Paul? That's the question. And there's a lot of different theories and ideas. And it's kind of like the polls that were just for the election, right? Everybody said it was neck and neck, neck and neck. Nobody wanted to call anything, and they were wrong. Anyway, but the bottom line is, when it comes to this, people are making a lot of calls. You got professional fighters like myself who be making my call, or giving my ideas, or former boxers from Oscar De La Hoya to Lennox Lewis, and all of these great champions, and they have their thoughts and ideas about who's going to win, why another might win, and all that. But you know what? At the end of the day, we really don't know. That's the truth of the matter. So I'm going to give you a few minutes here, and I want to break it down. First, what are your thoughts about Mike Tyson, who he was and who he is today?
Mike Tyson, who he was a monster. I mean, I don't know if he's still a monster, just knows how to control it. And of course, I'm speaking on in the ring. What he does out, the publicity and everything.
Well, we're not talking about that.
But in the ring, yes, he was the person to be afraid of. Even watching him and not being in the ring, he was someone to be afraid of.
Right.
I don't know now if he's going to be able to tap into that inner beast, and that's only because of based on that last fight that he did with Roy Jones, correct? You can see points at which he was holding back, but at the end he was so excited, like he wished he didn't hold back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of old Mike Tyson come out.
Well, now listen, like I said, Johnny Davis Live, real talk, real solutions here, and I just want to dive into that a minute. Okay, that was only 4 years ago. Okay, and what was it? 8 rounds too, right?
Right.
It was also 8 rounds. He did those 8 rounds, and if you said he was holding back, he still did the 8 rounds. And Roy Jones talks about, man, the guy hits like a mule, right? And so let's say if he was taking it light, because they had in their agreement, here's the difference, that they would not knock each other out. That is not the case this time, right? And also there is a difference when you are sparring, and ideally speaking, you're not so much trying to knock out your sparring partner, ideally. That was more than exhibition. Let's be clear. This is not an exhibition. It has been deemed by the Texas Athletic Commission that it is a pro fight with special conditions that is going to count on each of their records. Okay? That is a fact. So this is not an exhibition. You don't have to hold back with a darn. Now, they have put on 14-ounce gloves. Okay? And that's okay. That will take a little bit out, but I've seen people get knocked out with 16-ounce gloves. I mean, so you can get knocked out. It does help a little bit, but it doesn't help all that much. Okay, so this is the reality of what I'm talking about. Is that now it is a real fight? Do you think he can call on the beasts?
Yes, I think he can, but you got to look at some of that training montage with Mike. They're showing like some quick bursts, and then they're cutting the camera to another take. So yes, he did go full rounds with Roy. I do think he took it a little light, but I think Jake Paul is also hunting too. So I don't want Mike to try to take it light to find the pace. I want Mike to come out full steam. But
well, I mean, there's just caution in coming out full steam now. You know, as a professional fighter, you just can't go balls to the wall out there either, because you got 8 rounds to do, right? So you have to be careful and cautious about running into something and all of that too. However, when he does get in there, right, he needs to go crazy with it, no doubt about it. Give me your perspective on Jake Paul.
Exciting, surprising. I don't think no one would have imagined him to be where he is now from when he first started off. I think he dropped jaws and surprised everyone with the first knockout. So each one of the times that he lines up, we don't know what to expect.
Right. Well, a lot of people want to dog him out. They want to beat him up, and all that. But I'm telling you, I'm not one of those people. In fact, for many years, I've said long before Jake Paul came along that all fighters need to do that type of self-promotion if they want to be that superstar. Hector, Macho Camacho, people like that who went out there were flamboyant, and they promoted Muhammad Ali, who promoted themselves in that way. So I'm not mad with Jake Paul. I'm not. Whether he wins, he knocks Mike out in the first round, okay, that we know that is a possibility, right? That could happen. But there's a good chance also that Mike can knock him out. Right. And that's the intrigue about all of this. So I'm not mad about his YouTube stardom and millions of dollars that he's making. I just wish more people were doing it. My only piece of envy with that, he didn't come talk to me about promoting. That would have been nice. Hey, man. And then I would have put him in kickboxing. Right? And then, hey, it would have been us tonight, maybe instead of boxing. That's just kind of my thought on it. But, I think that he is a serious contender. Do you think he can actually hurt Mike?
I think he can. I have a question, Johnny.
Okay.
Which do you think would be more surprising, or more would get the biggest all from spectators in the crowd? If Mike knocks him out, or if Jake knocks Mike out?
Okay, so I have this litany of questions. You got a few minutes? You got
Yeah,
a few minutes?
I got time.
I'm gonna. That's the thing about you and I. Both of us are entrepreneurs, right? We kind of, we have our own clock, right? So to answer your question, I think most people will not be surprised if he beats Mike. Whether knockout or not, they won't be surprised because, unfortunately, too many people do not give us old folk enough credit. That's the facts. These are the facts. I have a litany of things. Hold on one second. That this one guy who I read, and I'm going to go into this a little bit, he made these comments about after you reach the age of 50. By the way, I am 62, a proud 62. Right. And that's the bottom line. But I still work out. I work out pretty aggressively. Right. Can I do it for as long as I used to? No. And I don't have time anyway. Right. A lot of this stuff is mental. A lot of it is mental. Right. But the guy says your ability to see punches coming diminishes. This is what he wrote, like 10 items. I don't know if that's true. And the reason why I say that, because it's about training. If I'm in the gym training to dodge punches, right, it might diminish some as you get older, but it doesn't have to. It depends on your mind. It depends on the way you are training and stuff like that. For example, if you just have somebody just jab and jab and jab, and you just constantly doing that, and you're looking at those punches, well, you're going to be a lot sharper than me, who has not done that in years. Mike Tyson has been in the gym. He's been training, right? So how old are you now, Benny?
I'll be 40 in March.
40, youngster, right? But do you think that your eyes have, at this point, have diminished since you were 20?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. No.
Not exactly. Not to the point of having glaucoma or something. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not that. He also noted that you can't take and handle punches the same. I don't know what that means either. And the reason why I say I don't know what it means is because mentally you can handle whatever you want to handle. But the bottom line is, do you want to take the punch? Now, you're older now. You remember when you used to do a lot of crazy things when you were younger? Yes. But you can still do some of those things. But do you want to?
Right.
The question is going to be, Benny, is does Mike want to? He's got some motivation. Over 20 plus million dollars. That's motivation. Another motivation that his family's going to be watching. They're going to be right there, cheering him on. He knows also what this is about boxing. A lot of people says that Jake Paul has made a mockery of boxing. What do you think?
I don't think so. But I see where people are coming from. But those are the folks that's been training since they were yay-high or a certain age group or whatnot. But that doesn't say that you can't get in the gym and get to where you want to be. I think he's put the time and work in.
Well, I mean, how is it a mockery when you bring in all of his publicity to it? Hey, as I noticed on this comment on the thing, does he have a little WWE going? Yeah, probably does. But guess what? It probably needed a little WWE. Does that make sense? Here's a big factor too that I want to kind of share with you. Reaction time. There's two factors in this, Benny. Your daughter, you can bring, if that's your daughter, you can bring her on. That's fine. Yeah. Hey, that's little Benny. Boy, she is little Benny. Boy, you guys are twins. How you doing? But the thing about it is that reaction. There are a couple of reactions here. People think it's all about Mike Tyson's reaction, but it's also about how is Jake Paul gonna react when he gets hit in the body or the head with a Mike Tyson punch? What are your thoughts on that?
My thing is, how is Mike going to react? Because everyone that's felt Jake Paul has something to say about Jake. So I want to see how Mike is going to react. Has Mike been going? Has anybody been going easy on Mike in the gym? Like Jake has been out there, so I want to actually. I would reverse that to see. I would more so see how Mike comes through. Like you were saying, Mike knows what it's like to go run in that fire, but he also knows what the fire feels like. Is he ready to go there?
Well, remember now, let's be clear. He's been training. He's been training with some big boys. So Mike has been getting, guys, it is not like Mike Tyson just woke up and said, I want to do this. Mike Tyson has been training for this for at least almost a year. They've been talking about this fight. So he's in the gym. He's training. He's getting hit. I saw the Netflix special. He's in there sparring with some big dudes. So Mike is getting hit. So Jake Paul, in my opinion, is not going to come out there and hit him with something different. Now, hold on. I don't mean he can't catch it. Not saying that. But listen. Okay, I'm gonna break this down, man. I'm sorry. I got to get in this a little bit. I just want to be clear. Jake, I know boxing. I really know boxing. Been doing it for years. I know when a person is making mistakes, and I know when they're not properly using their body for power. I know this. Jake Paul is a strong kid, but he's not the strongest kid for that size. He's kind of bulked himself up. He's a big guy. Two that almost weighing the same thing. But Jake Paul, his punches are not what you call completely accurate. Okay? When I say accurate, what I mean is technique-wise. Jake Paul's, he's strong. He's a big guy, so he can hit you, bam, and knock you out. Okay, yes, because he's big. But it's not because of his boxing skills. This is what I want to be clear. Jake Paul has ego. And he has enough gumption to train hard to be in decent shape. And he does throw a couple of punches right. He has a decent jab, and he throws a good overhand right? He has some basic punches that he throws right. Can he be better? 100 times better. 100. This is my thing. So this is not like a young Floyd Mayweather fighting Mike Tyson. I want to be clear. Jake Paul has just intermediate skills. Really, from anybody looking at him from a serious boxing perspective, it's intermediate. But he has an ego. He knows what this is all about. He knows that people are watching. That ego can take you a long way. It really can. But his skills, Benny, now he makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of mistakes. So when we talk about reaction time, yes, I think Mike Tyson can take his best punch. The question is, can he take Mike Tyson's best punch, even at 58 years old? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to reaction. Have you ever been a really good body shot? You ever had a really good body shot from a boxer?
And it'll put you on your knees and you won't get up.
It'll make your liver quiver. I'm telling you right now, and this is what I'm saying, and I'm being very honest. Jake, by the way, Jake, respect, I have nothing against you, right? I think, you've done a great job. But when I look at his body, there's little muscle mass.
Yeah.
He's not ripped in the abs. I believe a good liver shot is going to put this guy on his knees. This is my 2 cents. I'm just guessing. I don't know. All of us are guessing right now, okay? But I'm telling you, his body, even though we know he's in shape because he's been training, we know he's in shape, but his body doesn't tell me that. When I look at things, Benny, I also look at things like what I call striking muscles, like the tricep,
right,
the bicep, the lat, the lat here. I gotta get it right? All of your shoulder here. I am not quite seeing all of that on Jake. Doesn't mean he can't hit and knock you out. We've seen him knock people out, okay? But some of those things takes years to develop. He's only 11 fights in. I'm hoping that Mike exposes that.
Yeah.
When he punches a lot, his chin is up. Remember all these things I'm saying? Remember all of these things. When he throws a jab, sometimes his chin goes up. Does he have head movement? Very little. He has very little head movement. And if you stand there, and he doesn't have a lot of footwork, you got to have some footwork now to get. You can't just stand there and just bang with Tyson.
Right.
You
right.
can. I've seen people do it, and I've seen people get the advantage of it. But that's not a smart move for him to stand there and bang with Tyson. What are your thoughts?
Nah, he shouldn't. And like you said, his body is too soft, in my opinion. Nothing to take away from Jake.
I'm not the only one that sees it.
Yeah, his body is he's like you said, not enough muscle mass. He doesn't have a hard body like a boxer that's been doing this. You know, they're always hard, even the smaller guys.
This is my point. I'll talk about myself here for a minute. I got some pictures that I show, man. Look, I'm like, boom, 6-pack, everything. I'm hard because the training does that. Now, every time I see Jake Paul get on the scale or something or whatever, he pops an energy drink. That's trash for your body. That's junk for your body. That's terrible. I'm sorry, energy. I never have an energy drink sponsor, obviously, but it's junk. It's junk for your body. No, it's junk. I wouldn't want them anyway. Be honest, I just don't. And the reason why is because it's just not good. You can't drive a car 1,000 miles an hour every day, right? So I used to be hooked on those energy drinks. I used to, but I stopped because made me jittery and everything like that, and it's speeding up everything, and your body cannot do that, right? So anybody's on energy drinks, yep, I said it, it's junk for your body, right? It's not good for you. Get your energy from eating good and working out. That's my 2 cents on it. Let's talk a little bit about the experience, the levels. We know it may or may not be an advantage, but I think it's pretty obvious that Mike has the experience over the guy. Is that having experience helps teach you how to conserve your energy. This is what I'm talking about. It's not just knowing boxing better, but it is okay, not to get overwhelmed and excited when somebody starts flurrying on you. You understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That cool and calmness, right, is experience that I don't think Jake has been in that yet. I don't think he's been in deep water. He has some good fights, okay? But the guys he was fighting were never really good boxers, and the only one that was a decent boxer he lost to. Has he learned a lot since then? Yes, he has. But has he learned enough in this time to be able to go into deep water with the different kinds of things that you do in a boxing match? That when you throw that punch, is your chin down, or when you got a guy who's weaving under and hitting you with a left hook. Those are the kind of things that I'm concerned about when it comes to Jake Paul. So experience could be an advantage. But at the end of the day, I think that it is going to be a game changer. Because I believe if Paul gets hurt, if he gets hurt, crap goes all up everywhere. His mind goes, he loses it, and that is because of lack of experience. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. However, I think Jake has sufficient. He's only had 11, like you said, but he's had enough. And now I'm going to just go sidestep and go to my experience jumping in there one time with a boxer, and I got knocked down 3 times in the first round. Right. Even though I had Muay Thai experience, and it hasn't been recent, but I understand the argument between MMA fighters going against boxers because that boxer experience, like you said, someone gets in there, you tighten up, you're not used to those fury of punches coming. Next thing you know, you're gassed just from tightening up and throwing, and your body's not used to it. In this case, I don't know, like you said, no one has really gotten on Jake like that, and Tyson has the capability of doing that. So if that happens, then yes, Jake, he has looked tired before. When he starts to look tired, that may be a game changer, and then he's going to get hurt.
Right. And so what I'm saying is like these other guys, MMA fighters, mostly in the bare knuckle guy, I think the last guy fought, those guys do not understand. Listen, boxing is an art for a reason. And you only got 2 limbs here. You only got about 4 or 5 punches you can do. But it is one of the most difficult sports ever. And one of the most difficult things about boxing is fighting on the inside. It's fighting on the inside. And I'm telling you right now, I haven't watched all of his fights, Jake Paul's fights, but I don't think he's that good of an inside fighter because his chin is too high. Right. And I'm telling you right now, if I was Mike, and Mike, I know you listen, I know you're looking at my podcast right now. Hey, Mike, I'm telling you right now, go and get on the inside, kill the body, and the head is going to be given to you on a silver platter. Right. That's what I think, because I just do not believe that Jake can take it to the body. And I'll tell you what, if he does, then he is going to fool me. The other thing was, I remember I want to show this one other thing real quick about the age thing. Is it a real advantage?
You're asking age. I don't know.
Do you think it's a real advantage?
Not the way I'm looking at Tyson, and I've seen you move, Johnny. I mean, you have to put age on the side. I don't think so. So I don't think that's going to play a part in it.
I want to talk about it again at 62 years old. I'm going to tell you what the real deal is. If you saw me, my wife picks at me all the time, sitting up in the chair watching TV and getting up, it would be like, oh, all right. Like, okay, right? If you see me sometimes at a tournament all day long, you'll see me kind of limping, right? And it's just the way it is, because you feel it differently. Your knees feel it, your hips feel it, your shoulders. Mike Tyson wasn't a kickboxer, so I feel it more in my hips and stuff. But I'm trying to tell you, I feel it. Put me on a bag. Put somebody in front of me, right? I am telling you right now, I'm revived. I want to talk a little bit about reviving. You see this unit right here? This is my TENS unit. Yeah, right. See, a lot of people don't understand what's going on. They don't understand what's going on, man. Like, just because you old, you're not dead, right? And so what I want to kind of talk a little bit about is the fact that he's rich. A lot of people think he's poor. He's not. Mike Tyson is rich. Okay, so everybody needs to understand that that's not what all of this is about as much as you might think. But every day, this guy has a TENS unit on all of these sore places, all of these muscles, all these areas. You see it on some of his videos, right, when he's sitting up there. And he's getting massages every day. Every day by professional masseurs. He is getting massages. He's getting the best care. And every day, he's rejuvenating himself. He's rejuvenating his muscles, Benny. You understand? That I know this because every day I'm doing the same things. When I finish working out, and I work out hard, when I finish, I'm hurting. I am hurting. However, by the time I take a hot shower and I put these TENS units on me and put maybe some rub, man, I'm ready to go the next day.
You recovered.
I recovered. Mike Tyson's been recovering.
Yeah.
All he has to do, if he can call on it, that tonight, I keep saying that night, it's tonight, baby.
It's tonight.
Tonight. If he can call on it tonight, and I want to talk about that for just a moment, because a lot of people miss opportunities. When I was fighting and I got the call to be a world champion, I had one for a world title fight. I got that one call. I got it later, but that first call, sometimes you only have one chance. Mike Tyson, I'm talking to you right now. I'm going to look Mike Tyson right in the face right now. Mike, I know you're looking at this podcast. You got one shot to prove to people that you are the greatest. You got one shot to show these people that boxing is an art that cannot be taken for granted and is serious. You got this one shot tonight to show the world what power really is. and also show that we're not dead when we turn 58 or 60, that we still got something left in the tank. This is for all of us, Mike. I'm talking to you right now, Mike. I know you're looking, right? I want you to do it for all of us tonight. When you take that shot, when it feels like you want to quit, dig deeper. Don't get weaker. And land the shots that you need to land. Mike, I promise you this one thing. If you land the shot, he cannot take it. His head is too high. He can't take Benny. He can't take it, Benny. Benny, I see this guy myself. Listen, I'm not trying to challenge Jake. He's too big for me. But my point is, I see his chin up and I see his body tight. He cannot take Mike Tyson. So if he runs, and he gets Mike, okay, so what? Congratulations, you got him. But I promise you, if Mike just kind of takes balls and goes in and hits him with everything he got with a few of those shots, I'm telling you right now, he cannot take those punches. Now, listen, now tomorrow I might be saying, well, I guess he did take them, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know, the other part about this too is fear. I want to talk a little bit about fear. What I have on the screen right there, everyone is afraid. Mike Tyson said he was afraid. Jake Paul, you know Jake's got to be afraid of this. The trainers are afraid. The commissioners who approved the fight, they're afraid. And all of us fans are certainly afraid that Mike Tyson might get hurt, right? We're afraid. We're concerned about that. So all of us are afraid of the unknown. But fear does a couple things. When you're scared, Benny, what does it do to you when you're scared?
Put your back against the wall. So you're either going to fight. You're either going to fight or flight. For me, it's fighting.
Exactly. So with all of these scenarios, with Mike Tyson and everything he has to lose, which I feel, by the way, he has the most to lose. Mike Tyson has the most to lose. Okay? And Jake Paul, with his ego and his money and what he's trying to prove, he kind of has a lot to lose, but not as much as Mike. All of this fear is what makes this really exciting.
Yeah.
It's why we're going to be watching tonight. I'm sorry. If you don't have Netflix, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that is why we're watching, because we are afraid and fearful of the unknown. Now, I want to give a quick observations, really quick. Tyson still has knockout power. Do you agree?
I agree.
Do you think Jake really has knockout power?
I don't think so. Jake catches people. I haven't seen knockout power for me to define it that. I just see him knock out people because he catches them in the right place at the right time.
And he's knocking out guys who really don't know how to defend themselves.
Yes.
Like a boxer. Don't have the head movement, and they just don't know how to defend themselves properly.
Like Tyron, what was it? Tyron Woodley he went against, right, who was a great striker in the cage. But I mean, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy for me, but for Jake possibly, because his hands were down the whole match.
Exactly right. Some of that weaving and bobbing that I see Jake doing, it's not right. He don't weave that much. He don't weave right. He puts a lot of his body as opposed to his legs. A good experienced boxer, he catches that uppercut. I mean, he catches that like right away, right? So I know they've been studying these things. And also the counter. Let's talk about that really quick. The counter punch that Mike Tyson is well known for. If he can call on it now, remember, none of it matters. None of it matters at the end of the day if he can't call on it. Benny, you and I just talking, right? If Mike can't pull it all together tonight, all of this doesn't matter. Yeah. But what I'm telling you is, if he can put everything into tonight, this is all that matters. Eminem, this is all that matters, right? You got one shot, go for it. If he can put it all there, and he makes, when the guy throws the jab and he does the right counter, he weaves under, puts it up. I'm telling you right now, that those are his keys to victory. Because Jake Paul is not used to that, not enough yet. And I think that right there with Tyson's accuracy, that right there could be the end of the night. Now, have you watched Jake Paul move?
I don't see Jake Paul move that much. Have I watched him move? Yes, but I don't see him move.
You just answered. You just passed the test. When have you seen Jake Paul move? Footwork. You know, he's a fighter now. Is it smart for him to stand there and fight with Tyson that way? That's all I'm saying. And listen, there's a difference between moving around the ring intelligently and moving around the ring just to try to avoid someone. People call Floyd Mayweather a runner. Floyd Mayweather is not a runner. I don't know where they get that from. Everybody who says that, they don't know boxing. I can say it like the way his dad says it, right? They don't know boxing, right? And because Floyd Mayweather is not a runner. He's tactical, and he's technical in the way he moves. He's setting you up for something. Jake Paul don't know how to move like that, in my opinion. I've not seen anything in his whole repertoire that's going to have him moving intelligently around the ring. If he's just trying to get away, I don't think that's enough, because one thing Tyson does well is cut off the ring. He knows how to cut. If Tyson has that energy, and here's the thing, I want to talk about that for really quick. Footwork is not on your toes like Muhammad Ali all the time. That's not what people think.
Right.
Footwork are angles. Footwork only takes a left movement, a right movement. You can cut off the whole ring with 2 steps, right? You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, there. Boom, boom, you got him, right? And so it doesn't take a lot of, it just takes ring intelligence to cut that ring. So if he thinks he's just going to go on there and just move, run, it's not going to happen. Right? Because because when you get tired, you don't think as clearly. I get it, Tyson. I get it, right? But I'm going to hope that you're going to be able to have done enough training to know that when you're tired, you still got the call on it, right? And so he cuts that ring off and everything. And if he cuts that ring off the right way, and Jake Paul, who's probably not moving the way he needs to move, his guard is going to be down, and he's going to get caught with something. Look, hypothetical, yes. Hopeful, yes, but a real possibility.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about speed real quick. When you talk about speed, what do you think about when you see Mike Tyson's speed compared to Jake Paul's speed?
You can't compare it. Tyson's speed looks good. I mean, he looks like he looks like when he was first doing it. I want to see how it translates in the ring, though. Is that speed going to be there?
Listen, man, again, here's my 62-year-old training self. I think I'm pretty fast now. I don't know if you saw some of the things I do on the bag and stuff from you know.
I just commended you earlier when you was asking about Tyson.
But this is my point. I think I'm still pretty fast. I don't think that my speed has diminished. Because I kick, that's diminished. I kick harder, not faster today. But my hands, I don't think they've slowed down that much. I think they might even be faster. I know I hit harder. Right, so speed-wise, I don't think Jake Paul has an advantage. I don't think he has an advantage. I think he's even slower. And remember, some of this weight has been manufactured in the last few months or so. He's had to bulk up. I heard him talking about on the Netflix special that he's having to eat. Let me tell you something. I'll give you a little thing about fighting. Sometimes guys do 2 things the wrong way. If they're fighting in the wrong weight class, what they often find is that the focus is on losing weight, or in his case, gaining weight, as opposed to technique.
Right.
And if you focus on the wrong thing as opposed to getting those things you need in the fight, hey, I'm more worried about, man, I got to bulk myself up. You throw off your whole game plan. You could go into that fight very ill prepared, because all you've been thinking about, I want to be a bigger guy and I want to put my weight on him and all of that kind of stuff like that. Well, guess what, buddy? That might be okay for a little while, but when you got a guy in there fast like Mike Tyson, who can indeed catch you, and now you are sluggishly fast. You understand? There's a difference between being fast and tight with all your body. That's one thing. But just putting a punch out there fast, without the proper technique, that's not going to hurt anybody so much. Don't get me wrong. You can set him up for your big punch, maybe, right? But Mike Tyson is fast with all of his punches, not just one or two. So that makes either one of those punches dangerous. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect
So
sense.
he's already tight. Everything comes. See, what people don't understand. You see this right here. You're looking at my thing. See that? Can you see that? See that?
Yep.
When you train as a boxer, you learn to put all of your punches right here in this spot, right here, right? Here. Everything's there. And when you everything's there. That's speed. And his whole body is into every one of those punches.
Yes.
Every one of them. I think that is where the problem is going to be for Jake. That's just my 2 cents. So he's fast, but he's fast in another kind of way. And I truly think that Mike Tyson is much fast. As I see you babysitting there too, hey, looking out for your little. I got it. No. That's fine. Well, we're gonna wind it up here in just a little bit. Okay. So I want to talk about mentality. What would be your perspective on the importance of having a strong mentality, and how do you put that?
The mind controls everything. If you have a weak mind, and if you're not prepared here, mentally prepared, then you're not going to show up. Even if you're scared, you need to be mentally prepared. And it's okay to be scared. Like you said, everyone watching that's going to be in it is afraid of what's going to happen. I hope that Jake is afraid, Mike is afraid, but I want both of them to mentally be there. And that sometimes loses the fight when you're not there, when that person instills their mental strength on you and you start doubting yourself. Next thing you know, you lose the fight.
You're exactly right. Do you think that Jake Paul has psyched himself out so much, to the point that his psychic might be deceiving him?
I don't know if that's a bad thing. So he may have, but I don't know if it's a bad thing because it may be what's bringing his confidence. But I don't want that to make him too cocky where it has him too lax in certain areas.
Right. That's a great observation that you just said right there, Benny. And I will tell you the truth. When I was training I was a fool. I went in the ring like that. I was cool. I was psyched out like this. You can watch my fight if anybody want to see it on YouTube. When I fought Alvin Crowder, it's on YouTube. It's a 12-round fight, right? I was like this. You thought I was on drugs or something. I'm not even kidding, right? And I don't do drugs, never have, right? But I was like really psyched out and everything, man. But I was in tune with the fight. Even in the 12th round, I was still fast and crazy, but I was psyched. And then as soon as they announced me the world champion, I broke into, oh God, I just started crying. I just broke down in the ring. But I was psyched for that time. Does Jake Paul have that enough to be able to hold on to that for 8 rounds, especially when somebody's giving him some serious damage, if that is the case? That is my question. Can Mike Tyson? I've heard a lot of commentary say people get old in the ring. They get old in the ring. It could be a situation where Tyson just decides right in the middle of it, it's not worth it anymore, and just quit. We've seen it happen. I hope that's not the case, but I've seen it happen where you get old right in the ring. They already know he's old, but is he going to get old right in the ring? I hope that he has his mental right so that he knows it's going to be tough. He knows he's going to get hurt in there. He knows there's going to be damage in there. He already knows that. But I hope he just says, I don't give a crap. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to take what I'm going to take, and I'm going to give what I can give. And if he can't take it, at the end of the day, I'm going to be standing and he won't. And that is what I'm hoping for. I think a lot of people are hoping that. There's a lot of people like my age, right, who are really rooting for Mike to go out there and knock this kid out. I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And that is certainly my wish, because I think not anything bad against Jake. But I really do think that it would be good for our society to show more respect. See, there's been a loss of respect in our society. Okay, period. I talk about it all the time. And one of the things, my wife and I, we're in the senior care, right? I deal with seniors every day, but my wife does in particular, so I hear about them every day and talk with them. And there's a lack of respect for seniors. These people gave their lives. They lived great lives. There's so many lessons to be learned. Oh my God, they break my heart all the time because we deal with Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that. And I look at these people and I have so much honor and respect for these people. And the way we treat them is just all honor and respect and love, right? These young folks today, they do not respect us like that. They don't. And so there's a part of me, and probably a lot of people out there, that we need to have a public butt whipping. This is what I'm talking about right now. I'm keeping it real, Benny. I'm keeping it real. We have a lot of things in our society, but we need Daddy Mike to take little Jake and say, boy, I'm going to. My dad, my stepdad, used to tell me, boy, you don't want to mess with me. All right? I tried it one time. He just bam, beat the crap out of me. Right. I always told my son that as well. Dude, no. You can't take your dad. So what I really want, to be honest, no disrespect to Jake, but I need us older people to get our respect back.
Respect your elders.
Respect your elders. And I need Mike to give him a public whipping. Like we used to get when we were kids. I don't know if you did, but I got my butt toe up, right? In our community, I got my butt toe up, right? And I respect my mom to the day she died. Okay, didn't talk back or nothing. I was like, no, okay, whatever, mom, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I need Mike to go out and get a switch.
And plat the switch.
Yeah, and tear his behind up.
Yes, sir.
And say, respect your elders, boy. And I think I am not the only one. I am not the only one that is hoping and wishing to see something like that. I think our society really, really needs it. But let me, as I wind down here, I want to say one thing here. At the end of the day, I don't want any excuses.
Yeah.
Don't want it. I want everybody to go out there and do their best. I hate a sore loser. Can't stand a sore loser. In any regard. You lose, you lose. You win, you win. Okay? Don't like it. So the bottom line is, if Tyson goes in there and he gets his butt handed to him, sorry, guy, didn't work. If Jake Paul goes out there, boom, he gets caught and he goes out, sorry, buddy, it didn't work. I don't want to hear the excuses because it's fighting. It's not a sparring match. It's fighting. So if you go out there and you let a 58-man kick your behind, good riddance. Mike, you know that this guy's 28, 27 years old. 30-some years, and the bottom line is, if you go out here and let him kick your behind, that's what it comes down. Let's talk about fighting for a moment. Let's talk about fighting. Fighting. Benny, you ever been in a street fight?
Yes, sir.
It is not sparring, is it?
No, sir. Life or death.
This has to be a fight for Tyson. And you got to ask yourself a question. And maybe Jake Paul could beat him in a street fight. I don't know. But I tell you what, like I tell myself at 62, the average person, I don't care about their age. You're not going to kick Johnny Davis behind. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm a 6th-degree black belt. I know how to box. I even know grappling a little bit. I'm not great at it, but I'm good enough at it, right? I know a lot, elbows, knees, kicks, punches, and I hit hard, and I got a mentality to fight because I got that other edge. I know how to go into that little mode where I can get crazy on you. But I don't care what your age is. I'm not going to let somebody just come in and kick my behind. You just better be bad. If you do it, you might. I can't beat everybody. You can beat me. I can't beat everybody. But I'm just want to tell you, when you walk away, you're going to know you've been in a fight. This is what I'm asking, Mike. Right? I mean, Benny, if you've been in a street fight, you ever lost a street fight?
Yes.
I have too. Right? And early on, right?
Yes.
And I will tell you right now, right? You learn from that. But I tell you what, there's no one ever walked away from me and knew that they were not in a fight. Even in the ring, all that, they knew. Even Ricky Haynes, when I lost my first world title in the 10th round of 12, I tore that joker up, but he got me in the end. Right? That's just the reality. But I guarantee you he was hurting for a while because I beat the crap out. You can see it on YouTube as well. Right? So my point is, Mike, make sure this young buck understands that he was in a fight at the end of the day. What would be your wishes and what is your call at the end of the day, Benny?
End of the day, I see Mike Tyson knocking him down. I don't know if he knocks him out, though. Mike Tyson for the win later on.
You are giving it to Mike.
I'm giving it to Mike. I don't
know.
Now,
listen here now. Listen here now. I did not get that impression from you when you came on.
I never said I was giving it to Jake. I think it's going to be a fight. I don't see Mike knocking him out. I don't see Jake knocking him out. If Jake knocks him out, and I hate to say this about fights, but I would have to question the talks that's happened prior to or behind the curtain or whatnot. I really don't see Jake catching Mike and knocking him out. But no, I give the fight to Mike.
Yeah. I see if he hurts him, he's fast enough, or has enough condition to do a lot of flurries. Right, and he could take him out because if he hurts him, then he could follow up with a couple of good punches and take him out. Well, I don't think it'd be one punch, right? I think Mike can knock him out with one punch.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you this is my prediction.
Okay.
My prediction is that I'm for the old guy. I'm for the old guy. Now listen, I'm for the old guy. Because I'm talking about me. I'm talking about if I put myself in that situation, I know what I'm up for and I will be ready and trained. Just like when I won my first world title. I knew what I was up against and I trained for it. When I won my second world title, I knew what I was up against and I trained for it. You understand? And so I was prepared when I got in there. And that is what I'm hoping for Mike. So if Mike has done what he's supposed to do, I don't care about his age. He is going to knock this fella out. And let me just say this really quick before we close out. You talk about WWE, or you said the antics and the talks. There has been a little bit of conversation in this, I know, about, hey, I don't know about that slap that he did the other night either. That slap. Don't know about that, right? Jake Paul, knowing Jake, because he has some WWE in him. You know, which I ain't mad with Jake. I swear I wish he was with us with kickboxing. I need a Jake Paul, right? But my point is that I can see them orchestrating that slap. He slapped him pretty hard, but hey, I'll take a slap if it's going to get me another $1 million, right? So I can see that. But at the end of the day, Mike is a competitor. He knows he has the boxing community on his back. And he's carrying us. And I say us because I love boxing.
Me too.
And yeah. I want him to go in there. Come on, Mike. Come on, man. Boxing is hard, and we need to show people that it's hard. So I'm hoping he's going to go in there and he's going to do it for the old guys. And that's why when I did that little technique the other day, I don't know if you saw it, I did a body shot, and I say this, I say I'm for the old guy. That's what I'm going to close this out with. I am for the old guy, period. And I wish him all the luck in the world.
It should be a good fight.
Benny, thanks so much for giving me your time today, man. We're going to see you tomorrow morning in Charlotte, North Carolina. Give me one more time what time we need to be there and what's the location.
Ophelia Gorman Brown Center off of Freedom Drive at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Fighters are there at 8 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah, they might be there at 8, but we won't be there at 9. Registration starts at 9. All right, thanks so much. We'll talk. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you later. All right, great talking to Benny there. You know, we've been knowing each other for quite a while now. His mom is also a very well-known nurse in the area. We have had a good conversation about Mike Tyson and exactly what we think, what might happen. We don't know. At the end of the day, we have no idea, right? But it's going to be an interesting fight tonight. If I'm wrong about what I said, that's fine, because, again, we don't know. We don't know who's going to win. We don't know who's going to give up. We don't know who has the most determination and all that. One of my favorite sayings is that it is what it is. And that means we don't have any control at the end of the day of what's going to actually happen in that fight. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you for watching.